Hi, this is Ron Nutter. Welcome to another edition of TechBytes with Ron Nutter product reviews. Today we're looking at the Accsoon Toprig 16-inch Camera Slider Motorized, otherwise known as the S40, and 3 things you need to know about. If you don't know what a slider is, you've probably seen one and not realized it. They go by, well, they also go by the name of dollies. You'll see them used a lot in TV and movie productions where you got the poor guy holding the camera and working with it, who's sitting on a seat, who's on 4 wheels, and you got 3 or 4 other people pushing him up and down a track. Now that's a manual version of a camera dolly. This one's motorized, and trust me, this one's very nice. If you get value from this video, please consider subscribing and then liking the video. I would really appreciate it. Now, the S40, I had a little bit of a rough start. That apparently when they tested mine at the factory, they didn't pull it out of the mode it was in. So mine immediately powered up and it went bang, bang, bang. It was going completely to one side and back to the other, back to the other, back to the other, and it's just, I couldn't get it out of it. Well, they helped me get it out of that mode, and it's been fine ever since. But it does some things that we'll get into in a bit that really I enjoy kind of working with it, because there's going to be things, even if you're not doing content creation like I am, documenting some things you've got. So say if you've got collectible items like porcelain figures, or there's any number of things, you can use this to really get a good view of what's going on. Thing to know, number one, you have 2 choices with this. You either have the smartphone app, which is actually pretty decent, because I can get the S40 to respond in a way I've not been able to get it to do with the local control, which is on one end of the motorized slider, and you can preset it from that if you want to, and there's nothing wrong with that one. I just get better results from the smartphone app, because I like to do a lot of manual control, because as I'm working with things, it really gives me a level of granular control that if I've already preset my travel points and I decide to make a change, well, then you've got to tear down the travel points or set points, do it all over again. And if I'm doing it with a manual setup, then really it's, to me, you got a lot more granular control to it. Now this has something, and I've got 2 other sliders. One just it hasn't quite worked out the way I hoped it would, and I've got another one that is a much bigger one. It's harder to manipulate. It's just not, well, what's the term? User friendly. So I'm catching myself using the S40 at least once a day. So that has been very handy, and you can make speed control changes on the fly. The other 2 I've got, and that's not an option. Once you put it in motion, you've either got to stop it, change the speed, bring it back to its start point, and then do it again. And with this one, you can literally dial the change in while you're doing it. And I've done that a few times. It's been handy. I've been able to salvage more than one shot. Now, if you're setting this on some sort of tabletop or other flat surface, each corner of the slider is individually adjustable to deal with uneven surfaces or to add special effects. And thing number 4, and this is a bonus item, I like the fact that it uses the NP style batteries. Instead of having to worry about a specialty battery or having to get an adapter, it simply works. And there's a whole host of NP style batteries available. I don't think you got to get the biggest one, but we'll leave that for another video. This is, I've had this for 2 months now. Hardly a day goes by, like I said, I'm not using it, and it simply has allowed me to increase the quality of the videos I produce. In fact, the opening sequence to this, where you see the kind of a panning going back and forth in front of the box, that was done with the S40. So that gives you an idea of what it can do. There's so many possibilities to this. So if you're having to do this on a budget, this is going to be one of the things that will get you the greatest value, at least in my opinion. So take a look at this and think about getting one today. You'll be well pleased with what you end up with. There's a little bit of a learning curve to it, but not bad. If you get value from this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.